What's going on, guys? Welcome to or welcome back to Cheesemate and Chill, where we cheese me out and we chill. I want to say it has been longer than a week since I made my last episode. I'm gonna check right now. Let me see. Today's the 26th, the day after Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone! If you celebrate Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate, happy holidays. Oh yeah, it's been a little over a week, so I'll try to get this one out today. But I wanted to show you guys my upgrade. Okay, so I'm actually glad I'm filming this after Christmas because we got a fancy new equipment upgrade. I'm going to show you guys together live. It has something to do with the lighting. Okay, so right now I'm using my Ring camera, and I'm actually going to switch to one of those fancy studio ones, and I hope that you guys can tell the difference. I definitely could when I was testing it last night, so I'm very excited. But yeah, I don't know if I should turn this one off or you know what? I'm going to leave this one on and then just turn the other one on. And then you won't even be able to tell that I turned this one off because it's so minuscule compared to like what this one does. Okay, hold on. It kind of reminds me of like, have you guys seen Brittany Broski? When she's like, let the trials begin. And then she does the thing. Yeah, this is like, now I know why they go like holy. You know what I mean? Are you ready? Y'all see that shit? Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna turn this one off. Hold on. Like I said, like it's so minuscule. Like you can't even, like. Is it still on? Like I don't even. This fucking thing. Hold on. Whew. Okay, now I know what they're talking about. But yeah, this is my upgrade. How cool! So it kind of goes like there's like a cold, which may be better for like the consuming crime episodes. We'll do warm because it's the holidays and is it going warm? There it goes. You can go like brighter, which I don't know if we need to go brighter. We'll just keep it like that. What is mode? I don't know what that does. Anyway, yeah, that's my upgrade. So hopefully you guys can see the quality is better on your end, but I want to show you guys that first. I actually came with a list today of things to yap about. If I can find it. So how was everyone's holiday? Before I get started, if you're on Spotify, make sure you like and follow. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Feel free to share your commentary. I do go through your comments and I try to at least like them so you guys can see that I do go through each and every one of them. Don't be a hater, please. I will delete your comment. Which is funny. I was actually embarrassed saying that on TikTok the other day, but then I was like, it's because I'm a small creator. And so I would imagine the bigger I get, the less time I'm going to have to go through them. I think it's different when it's constructive criticism. Like if it's okay, girl, the lighting was boo-boo, which this time it won't be. Or you're stuttering too much. Or you're smacking your lips too much. Because I do... Man, that was the only reason I knew I was doing it is because somebody in the comments of Consuming Crime told me, girl, you do that a lot. And I was like, oh my God, I do. I'm sorry. So that's different. Keep those coming, I am still kind of recovering from having the flu. Yeah, the flu is gnarly. It's gnarly. It's not cute. They are not kidding when they talk about body aches and all that stuff. So what was I going to do? I was going to do something. Oh, look at my notes. Oh, and if you guys want to hear a true crime podcast, I have my other podcast called Consuming Crime, available on wherever you listen to your podcasts. And I'm actually still playing with ideas in my head, but I think this next episode, most likely we're going to stay away. We're going to get off of murder for a second, and we're going to cover the Onision series that's on Discovery Plus. If that name rings a bell, he's basically a YouTuber, really, really famous back maybe 10 years ago. I actually was one of the 14-year-olds that watched him all the time. Yeah, but he was grooming women and, he's trying to make a comeback right now online, which hopefully we're all ignoring him. I almost don't even want to make the video because I kind of want to just pretend he doesn't exist. But I also am the case really intrigues me because so much went on behind closed doors. I was amazed because I watched him this whole time, even the stuff with Shiloh. Anyway, let me save this for Consuming Crime. Let's do TikTok drama first because what the Okay. So I just learned there's this lady on TikTok. Her name is, hold on, because she is the only reason that I even know about any of this ridiculous drama. But there is a 30, see, that was the first thing that popped up on my For You page right now. What is Lemon 8? Why is TikTok trying to get me to go to Lemon 8? Okay, so her name is Penny. She's awesome. She's so funny. She basically eats and like she talks about this situation going on with Ash Trevino. Oh my God, the cops went to her house. Okay, so Ash Trevino is a 35-year-old single mother of 2 kids. And to my knowledge, one of her daughters is 19. The other one, I don't know how old she is. But I guess her daughter had like a crush on like a TikToker who was allegedly also 19/22. We don't really know, but he's young and you could see in his face. Like I'm 27 years old and looking at this Santos kid, immediately I'm like, that's a child. Like in my brain, I'm like, that's a child. Would not go on a date with him, would not, like, that's a kid to me, right? So Ash Trevino and that Santos kid, they kind of started like dating for clout. And then it was weird because she went on live and she was like posting her rose toy and saying like all these nasty things to this, again, kid, 19-year-old, 22, we don't know. Pretty sure 19 though. And he's kind of like egging it on, like talking nasty to her, but also kind of people in the comments are like, oh, he's just trolling her. There's no way he would actually like touch her, whatever. And there was this one clip going viral because she was on live. They're basically famous for going on live. And she said, he has actually, I just want to show you guys. Hold on. And then her daughter walks in and she's like, you're saying things that people don't want to know. Honestly, the way that somebody said it is like, it's like a car wreck and you just can't stop looking. And that's how I describe it the best, because if you can date somebody that's an age that you're like, that could be your daughter's boyfriend, it's awkward. It's inappropriate. And that's the thing is like, I don't want to kink shame. I don't want to like, you know, people like to date older. Some people like to date younger, but I feel like if you're not past a certain age, it gives predator. You know what? Am I allowed to say that word on the internet still? I don't know, but that's just what it gives, okay? I cannot be with somebody that graduated high school. Like, I graduated high school 10 years ago. No, almost. 2015. So, yeah. And if you... Damn, I feel old. Anyway, so that's happening. I don't really know. I think they definitely are fake dating for clout. I think she maybe did catch actual feelings. Whether or not they really slept together, I hope they didn't. The recent news or the chisme on this is that last night for Christmas, I think, was it last night? I know they came over to her house. Santos came over to Ashley's house, and I don't know, they were just on live together. And then I recently heard that they went somewhere in a car and there was a bunch of other girls there. And I guess Ashley posted her live video where it was her and then another girl sitting next to her. And then in the backseat, you could see Santos getting some roadside assistance. You know, by one of the girls, and she just see her like pop her head up and you're like, girl, what the are you? And so that girl now is like upset at Ashley for going on live and showing that. And it's like, she's trying to say everybody's all mad and getting upset because like we're in a car full of people. And when I did that, like, you act like you don't do that. No, we don't do that. And even at that age, we're not doing that, because listen, to be in a car full of people, if you're all drinking and one of the couple, I actually have a story that kind of reminds me of this. I remember this like clear as day, and I hope this person doesn't get mad I'm telling this story. I'm not going to name names, but once upon a time, I was in the car. We were all hanging out at the bar, whatever. This was like years ago, okay? I think I was like 22, okay? And me and my girlfriend went out, and she wanted to bring this guy home. And for once, the guy didn't look like he came out of the movie Shrek. Like, for once, she picked like he actually was really attractive. He was really arrogant, but he was attractive. And I was like, all right, we can take him with us to my apartment. But please, I beg of you, do not start hooking up with him until we get to my place. Because the car I was driving a Dodge Charger at the time, leather seats, beautiful. Like, who wants their friends hooking up in their car? Who? Whatever. So, I'm driving. I start hearing noises. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, turn around. And oh my God, I was so traumatized. I like yelled her name. I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, I don't know what she said. But the guy, like, we locked eyes at one point, me and this guy, and he like winked at me, and I was like, oh no, that is not happening. I don't know, I was so mad at her. I was like, you dumb, but you couldn't wait 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Did I even wipe the seats out? Ugh. Anyway. But ordinarily, you're in a car full of people. You usually don't do that. On top of that, if you know that 2 of those people in that car, at least 2, are known to go on live throughout a night of going out, why the fuck would you do that? Like, anyway, but seeing that kind of reaffirmed to me, at least, that Ashley and Santos were not in fact dating, because obviously Ashley would have been like, what are you doing? So all these instances of her being jealous and mad that Santos isn't answering her, isn't giving her his location, I'm kind of like, now I believe it a lot less, because obviously she doesn't care. At least at this point. Maybe she did for a little bit, but now it's like, Anyway, so that was that was that. That was like, that shit was funny. Oh my God. All right, the next thing on my list is, this is a little bit touchier because the internet is so divided on this, but I am gonna speak my thoughts on this one, and it is the whole issue with Blake Lively and what is that guy's name? Justin Baldoni. I think the only thing that's annoying about that whole situation is people have just decided they don't like Blake Lively for whatever reasons they feel like they have, and so they want to discredit every little thing that she says. And the internet is kind of giving Mean Girl at this point, and I think they're justifying it by saying, well, she's a mean girl, so I'm going to be a mean girl. Newsflash, if you're not a mean girl, you're just not a mean girl. It don't matter how other people around you act, you don't switch up. So whoever you are, that character needs to stay consistent through and through, right? And trust me, I have been around my fair share of mean bitches. I walk away. I don't deal with it. I'm not going to deal with it. That's it. Because why am I going to snark back at you? And it depends on the moment. Sometimes there's a moment where it's like, in the moment you should speak up and say something. But other times it's like, it's not worth your energy. And going in comment sections and commenting nasty thing after nasty thing about a person you do not know and just making it a part of your life, it's giving you're no better than who you think she is in your brain. So as far as me and my opinions on Blake Lively, I don't know her. I've heard that she's difficult to work with. I've heard that about a lot of women in the industry. They say that about Katherine Heigl too, and I'm sure she is, But do I believe the allegations? I do believe it, because in the evidence that was submitted, Justin Baldoni had signed something agreeing that something about his behavior wouldn't continue, and that signature and that page had been documented well before this smear campaign against Blake. And people are like, oh, she's only coming out with this because she's getting all this hate. Like, I don't think so. And again, people just decide and they don't want to change their mind, even when presented with new information, which is a pain in the ass. Whatever. And honestly, I always kind of was like weird about Justin Baldoni, only because I did think it was interesting that the whole cast wasn't rocking with him. Like, I was like, it's kind of weird for one person to be on the out. And that's not always to say that, like, the one with the bigger group or the bigger following is most likely in the right. That's not always to say that. Obviously, there's situations, but that was always kind of weird to me. And I will say, I was going to unpack it more with you guys today. But, you know, there's a lot of people covering it online. And I mean, I guess I could unpack it with you guys today because I do have experience in reading like legal documents for school. Actually, you know what? We'll pull it up. We'll pull it up and we'll give it a glance. New York Times has one. Oh, there it goes. Download the original doc. There it goes. Okay. So I just typed in Google. If you guys want to read it, I typed in Google Lively versus Wayfarer Studios. And the New York Times popped up. So I clicked it, and then the very first link on top of the article is the PDF, which is loading now. So we're going to look at that. And just so you guys know, I'm not an expert at all in law. I did take a year and a half of administration of justice, and then a year of paralegal studies. So I have kind of skin in the game here a little bit. I don't think I'm using that word right. Doesn't matter. So Blake Lively versus Wayfarer Studios. Oh, she's suing a couple of people. Oh, damn. Okay. So it says, I didn't know you could do that at the same time. That's crazy. Wayfarer Studios, a California LLC. Justin Baldoni, an individual. Jamie Heath, an individual. Steve Sarowitz, an individual. Melissa Nathan, the agency group PR. A Delaware LLC. Jennifer Abel. Oh, wow. Okay. And the complaint for damages. So these are the official complaints. This is not to say that they're true. These are just what she's alleging, right? 1 is sexual harassment. 2 is retaliation. Failure to investigate, prevent, and or remedy harassment. Retaliation's listed again. Well, the first retaliations is retaliation under California Government Code. And this one's under California Labor Codes. Okay, so 2 forms of retaliation. Aiding and abetting harassment and retaliation, breach of contract, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligence, false light invasion of privacy, and interference with prospective economic advantage. I'm going to read the beginning part because this is something I have been dying to know and I haven't been able to find it. So the introduction, right? On January 4th, 2024, prior to resuming filming of It Ends With Us, following guild strikes, an all-hands meeting was convened to address the hostile work environment that had nearly derailed production of the film. Attendees of the meeting included Justin Baldoni, who is the co-chairman and co-founder of Wayfarer Studios, as well as a director, executive producer, and actor in the lead role of Ryle Kincaid. Jamie Heath, the chief executive officer of Wayfarer and the producer of the film. Ange Giannetti, the film's representative for its distributor, Sony Pictures Entertainment. Alex Sachs, a producer of the film. Todd Black, a producer of the film. And Blake Lively, who played the role of Lily Bloom in the film. Okay, Miss Lively also had the agreed-upon right to have a representative present. She chose her husband, given that the meeting was about repeated sexual harassment and other disturbing behavior by Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath. Like, I want to know, what is the harassment we're talking about? As discussed below, Miss Lively was forced to address concerns about Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath's misconduct with them directly, and began doing so months before filming began. The concerns she raised were not only for herself, but for the other female cast and crew, some of whom had also spoken up. The January 4th meeting occurred only after Wayfarer had rebuffed Miss Lively's efforts repeatedly. During the January 4th meeting, the parties discussed in detail the inappropriate conduct that Miss Lively, her employees, and other cast and crew experienced at the hands of Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath. After the list below was reviewed and discussed in its entirety, all parties present agreed that the outlined conduct would cease. This is really damning. Okay, guys? So check this out. So to answer anyone's questions about what are they talking about, what sexual harassment, what this and what that, I'm going to put it on here. 1, no more showing nude videos or images of women, including producer's wife, to Blake Lively and or her employees. What the okay, I'm going to keep reading. Sorry. 2, no more mention of Mr. Baldoni or Mr. Heath's previous porn addiction or Blake Lively's lack of pornography consumption to Blake Lively or to other crew members. 3, no more discussions to Blake Lively. They put her as BL, so I'm just going to say BL. And or her employees about personal experiences with sex, including as it relates to spouses or others. 4, no more mention to BL or her employees of personal times that physical consent was not given in sexual acts as either the abuser or the abused. 5, no more descriptions of their own genitalia to BL. 6, no more jokes or disparaging comments to be made to BL and or her employees about HR complaints Wayfarer has already received on set or about missing the HR meeting. 7, no more inquiries by Mr. Baldoni to BL trainer without her knowledge or consent to disclose her weight. 8, no more mention by Mr. Baldoni of him speaking to BL's dead father. 9, no more pressing by Mr. Baldoni for BL to disclose her religious beliefs. 10, if BL and or her infant is exposed to COVID again, BL must be provided with immediate notice as soon as Wayfarer or any other producers become aware of such exposure. 11, an intimacy coordinator must be present at all times when BL is on set in scenes with Mr. Baldoni. Okay, there's a lot. There's literally 30 things, the list, and they're all pretty like similar to, wow. Okay, well, it seems like, listen guys, do I believe it? To be honest with you, I do believe it. And we're going to see what comes of it. We're going to have to just see. But I wanted to answer some people's questions because I don't think I'll be able to clip that part and put it on TikTok. I have a feeling that's why people aren't putting it on TikTok, because they're afraid of like some of the verbiage or the words getting like suppressed or whatever. But yeah, that's crazy. So anyway, all right. So that's that. Holy, wow, that was a lot. Okay. The other things I was going to touch on. So, did I already get into the reunion? I don't remember. I think I did. I should have if it was last week that I recorded. The Ultimatum Season 3. Oh, no, I didn't. The reunion of The Ultimatum. This is like old news at this point. I'm late to the party. I think everybody kind of said it. I think JR is really hard to defend. And I always try to play... I don't know why I was like, I'm going to play devil's advocate with him. I can't, like, I think when it comes to what he says and what Zaina says, the truth is like somewhere in the middle, where like maybe he was trying to like give her hints that he wasn't going to get back with her, but also like, maybe not. Because at the same time, why are you like, okay, yeah, you didn't ask her to do those things for you for your birthday, but you still went and did them, you know. And as far as like her moving out and living across the street from him, like, I don't know. I really think when it comes to JR, I think he just wants to be single right now, but he kind of wants to keep Zaina like available. So when he finally does decide, okay, I'm going to stop being a thought and I want to settle down, he knows that she would be the one to settle down with. I think the internet was being a little too nice towards Nick. Honestly, with him, I feel like somebody said it best. Somebody said that he's got to be like into some like, you know what I mean? Because the way his behavior was so erratic that it was honestly so clear to me why Vanessa ended up leaving, because of his behavior. I don't have anything nice to say about Nick, so I'm just not going to say anything. And then who else? Sandy. I like Sandy, although I don't know. Either she really didn't sleep with JR, which nobody, including myself, believes, or dude, just fucking admit it. Like, she's not with Nick anymore. Zaina's not with JR. Like, I don't know why she just won't admit it. That's why I'm thinking, well, if everybody's broken up, don't you think she would say something if she did? But then maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, I'm so conflicted on that one. Mariah and Caleb, I love them. They're so cute. I gave my thoughts on them, the last episode. Arya coming in like that to Caleb and Mariah, I was like, girl, if you don't shut the fuck... Like, she really could not get past the fact that she got rejected and he didn't leave with her. And that amazed me, because I was like, dude, I really do not think that Caleb liked her like that. Like, I really don't. I don't think he was like physically attracted to her. I think he's just a nice guy. Like, I do think he's just a nice guy. And honestly, if she hadn't been so miserable with Scotty, I don't think she wouldn't have said anything. on that stage. And Mariah handled it very ladylike. She was like, well, I mean, she kind of did go for Caleb's throat a little bit in front of everybody, which was like, girl. I know that the last resort, you guys, this last episode was so funny. Oh my God. When Jasmine was confronting, Squid Game. I need to watch Squid Game. Oh my God, you guys, I'm so excited to watch Squid Game. Brain, where were we? Last resort, Jasmine. Okay. Yeah. When Jasmine and Natalie, I don't feel bad for Natalie. I cannot find a place in my heart to feel sorry for the girl because, okay, listen, the thing that I love about The Last Resort is that there's therapists on standby and that they speak to them. I don't think that Natalie was lying when she was opening up to the therapist about how she was bullied. This is my whole thing, is we have all been through shit. Some people's trauma is deeper than others. However, I don't think it's an excuse you should never weaponize your trauma. And I think the problem with Natalie is she weaponizes it. And to Sophie's point, because she had made a point when watching like Between the Sheets, the little episode after, she said, when you being bullied, you should know exactly what it would feel like to be bullied. So why do you do it? And I think Natalie has a wall so high into the clouds that she doesn't even realize that she sabotages people before they can even, she almost expects women to be mean. So she's like, all right, let me get ahead of it. It's almost like you feel like someone's going to break up with you, so you go and break up with them first. Not that I've done that before. But you know what I mean? But she's so into it. And I think that needs to be worked on. And what I will say about Natalie is the fact that she picked up the phone and thought to call a therapist to speak to them, I think is really a really, really good first step in what could be and hopefully will be a healing journey for her in regard to her female connections. Because it sounds like the reasons why she has such a hard time with her male connections is because of her insecurities around other women, especially with Josh. With Mike, I don't know, because we never saw that part. Like when we were watching him with her in the beginning, they lived in an area where there wasn't a lot of women, so we weren't really exposed to that. But with Josh, it's different. Josh is a player. He's just a player, point blank. That's it. And I don't know why he's with her. I don't know if it's the TV and the sex, both, whatever. Because he's obviously a clout chaser, which, no tea, no shade. Obviously, I have 2 podcasts. To an extent, I am also a clout chaser. But I'm not going to use somebody to get famous. If I'm going to be friends with somebody, I'm going to do it because it's genuine, not because I'm just trying to get ahead. The only famous people I can think of that I might actually be friends with, I don't know. I watch the canceled girlies all the time, but I don't know that I could handle being friends with them, only because they are such party girls. Even when let's say I wasn't pregnant, they're a little too out there for me to be friends with. So if you ever see me hanging around that crew more than once every other month, then I'm being fake. You can call me out on it, because I really could not party like those girls more than that. I can't keep up. But my point is, if you're gonna be friends with someone that has a platform, do it because you actually want to be their friend, not because, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of like when people come over to the United States on 90 Day Fiancé, where it's like, you can both want to come to the US and really be in love with this person. But if you're only doing it because of coming to the US, then you're a scumbag. Like Mohammed was such an obvious. Mohammed and Danielle, he was a very obvious just wanting to come to the States. He did not care about Danielle. But anyway, that's what I think about Josh and Natalie, and I'm glad that Jasmine called her out. Jasmine's hilarious. I do think she's at the very least an emotional cheater, though, from what we saw of her calling that guy when her and Gino were fighting. I thought that was fucked up. Benny, I said this last episode, he does not like Ari. And then it became even more obvious this last episode when he was all like disgusted by her in the sex therapy. I was like, dude, can you make it any more obvious that you are not attracted to this woman? And then it makes me wonder, why is he here? Is he getting paid to be on the show? Does he really want his marriage to work? Because he says it. He says, I want it to work, but then he doesn't do anything. All he is like passwords this and passwords that. That's all he, you know what? Oh, whatever. Oh, and then everybody getting mad at Jasmine for starting this fight with Natalie. Listen, I'm going to stand with Jasmine. I don't see why she wouldn't tell them. Like, why wouldn't she? You know? Like, I would have told Natalie too, and maybe that makes me a pot stirrer. I don't know. But I think Jasmine was trying to highlight the fact that her dude is a scumbag. I know she was not trying to get her to go for Sophie, and because I do think that Jasmine is a girl's girl. I do think that. And when she like grabbed her face and was like, don't play these games with me, Natalie. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, that was so satisfying to watch because Natalie does act like she's better. And then she picks and she picks and she picks, but she picks like subtly. Like, you notice she'll go to Julia and be like, oh, did you know Sophie's ass is fake? Or she'll go to this person and she'll say, oh, did you know Sophie probably not wearing any underwear? And she'll kind of be like small and subtle about it so that when somebody finally calls her out in like a major way, she can be like, oh my God, but I didn't even do anything. And, and like playing the victim. And it's like, dude, you've been talking shit for 3 days. And now you want to play the victim? What? Am I being too loud? Okay. But yeah, so I don't know. I believe that Natalie was bullied, but homegirl needs more therapy to figure out how she can stop being a bully, because she's a bully now. Now Natalie has become the exact reason she is the way that she is. And it's not an excuse. Go figure it out. Just because we all have been through shit. All of us. Do not weaponize your trauma. Oh! Sorry. Aaron Taylor Johnson on Brittany Broski's podcast. I had never heard this man speak until recently. If you have never heard him speak, well, I've heard him speak, obviously. I've seen him in movies. I've seen him in one movie. I've seen him in Kick-Ass. That was the only movie I saw him in, which was before his glow-up. So, I was in love with him before everybody was. Oh! But anyway, I've never heard his actual voice. He's British. The only thing that would make him sexier is if he was Australian. I don't know. I just like... Anyway, that was all I had today. I don't have much else. I don't want to like lose my voice before I get into the consuming crime episode. So I'm just going to cut this now. Thank you guys so much for chismeando and chilling with me today. Don't forget, if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, Spotify, like, follow. If you want true crime, head over to Consuming Crime. I'm going to sneeze. No, I'm not. Hold on. Thank you. I'm assuming you said bless you. But yeah, I hope you guys had a great Christmas or holiday or day if you don't celebrate anything at all. And you'll hear from me next week.